Welcome back to the Psychic Jam. Today's topic is all about manifesting good cheer.
You are listening to the Psychic Jam, a podcast that inspires holisticpreneurs like you to gain confidence, to learn, and to listen to your inner voice. Tune in as featured experts of the Psychic Associates discuss heavy and taboo topics, breaking down all the barriers of the realities of working in this industry.
Welcome back to the Psychic Jam, and I'm joined today with my co-hosts Jay Lane and Amber Price. I'm Liz Thropp, and we are going to discuss all about manifesting today, guys. How to manifest good cheer, right? We're coming up to the holidays. Let's really dive deep into how do we change what we think about to make things bring about, right? The old secret there. So how do we manifest good cheer, not just for the holidays, but for the whole year? And this is a great time of year to really invest in what we're thinking about, because it's really setting the tone for the entire year ahead, right? I know you guys agree on this with me, because I know we all do our own little thing that we do every, January. We prepare ourselves. Well, we're preparing throughout the year. These girls are hardcore. But, right now, leading up to the holidays, there may be some people who are feeling a little, maybe not getting what they want, or they don't know how to get what they want, or they don't know what direction to go in, and they're confused and overwhelmed. I'm seeing this a lot in my clients right now. They're second guessing. There's a lot of that kind of stuff going on. So let's start with you, Amber. What's your thoughts on this topic?
I love cheer. I really do. Like, even talking about it and you saying this was our subject today, I was like, oh, right. I love manifesting cheer. But I'm also somebody that can be, accused, and have been more than once, of being too cheerful and too happy and too rainbows and butterflies and unicorns. But you know what? I don't care. I love them apples. I don't care. I think that this is something I need to say. Just because we're cheerful doesn't mean that we don't have bad days, that we can't still be in the duality of, sadness and cheer, or darkness and light, right? So, but there's like a real true ability to start to manifest an energy state of cheer or joy. And some of the things that I do are, I honor what I like. I go with my individuality, regardless of if it's with the collective or not. So for me, that is my number one tip, would be honor your individuality and be unique. If you love wearing, bright colors and hats and boas and feathers, and if this is something that brings you joy, go for it. Like, have the biggest, brightest colors and the biggest hat and all this stuff. Like, just do it. Embrace it. Be you, because that is what brings you the joy and the cheer. And, I can't help but think of that show on Netflix. Does it spark joy? Do the things in your house, in your closet, the things that you collect and all this stuff that's accumulated, does it spark joy? And this is kind of what I was thinking and feeling when you were talking, Liz, was, are we doing things in life that spark the cheer, that spark the joy? And I know I took, I guess, kind of like an audit of my life this year. I do it all the time, but I mean, specifically this year, there's been lots of changes and growth and goals and that kind of stuff. And I did really reflect on, how do you find cheer even when there aren't things to be cheerful for? And that's not easy. It's not something that we can just do. Even someone like me who's cheerful a lot, you still can get frustrated and resentful and sad and hurt, and all of those things are really low vibrational energy. So what I try to do when I start to feel off and that kind of energy kind of seeping in, is first, it's like, yuck. Like, I don't like that feeling. So it's like, ew, like I just stepped in a pile of poo or something. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. I don't want it. I want it to change and go away. So I try to start to think about things that I like to do or change. So, okay, let's stick with holiday season here for a second. So as an example, I love love the Hallmark movies, the Christmas movies. Like, I love them. So this brings me cheer. So if I know that I have lots of work to do on the computer, or I have lots of clients to see during the day, or I'm unwinding, I will put on the Christmas movies. And it doesn't matter if it's in July. It doesn't matter if it's in April. It doesn't matter, because I find joy in those moments. The other thing, besides honoring your unique individuality, despite what other people might think, is to look at yourself and figure out if you have to have tough conversations with yourself. Right? So, again, we got to kind of go a little bit deep and dirty before we get to bright and shiny, So this is what I do. I look at, is there anything that's looming over me that is just gnawing at me? Am I thinking of something? Am I dwelling on something? Is something like reoccurring dreams, whatever? And I have that thought in my mind of, do I have to have a challenging conversation with myself or with someone else? And do I have to work through it to let it be put down? And so I think of that, and I think of like, okay, it's going to suck for a little bit, but then there's always a solution, or there's always a better outcome. Or you know what? You probably can really identify with this. It's like, you just feel better saying it. You just feel better talking about it, right? It feels like, 1,000 pounds has been lifted off my chest or my shoulders or whatever. So I just kind of go with my flow. I do my own jam. If I like what I like, I do it. But what I can also say about those 2 points is, somebody might not actually know what the heck they like, or what the heck is bothering them. Like, what are they carrying? So if you're someone who's sitting there going, that's great, Amber, but I don't really know what I like or what brings me joy, because I'm so lost and confused right now. It's not apparent, or I don't know who I am anymore because I've lost myself. Or you're someone who's like, there's so many things, there's too many things to think about and go through and fix or bring up. And it's opening a can of worms in Pandora's box. And I am not going there, because who knows what spiders are going to crawl out of that. Right. But I think it's key to just kind of do that self-exploration. Ask yourself the questions, try new things, hang around new people, be the yes person, that Jim Carrey did that Yes Man movie. And I thought that it was freaking like genius, because if you don't know where you're going to go if you keep denying your own experiences, right? But you're always on the defensive of like, nope, that's going to give me anxiety. Nope, that's going to make me feel horrible. Nope, I'm not going to have joy in that because I don't like that. But you don't know because you haven't tried it. You don't know because you haven't tried it with those people or that time. I've tried things before in the past where I was just like, it wasn't the right people I was with. My age was affected. My physical ability there were things that were also contributing factors to my experience. And I tried it again later and I enjoyed it so much. And it was just a very different experience. So even just being open to that. If you're someone who constantly thinks, I wish I could learn how to play golf. Like, I wish I could do that. I can't do that. I'm too old, or my shoulder hurts, or I don't have the right clothes to go. I don't have a membership. I need to buy clubs. Like that's all the stuff we want to say to you is causing you to experience lack of cheer. Because we can talk ourselves into or out of anything, and it's easier to talk ourselves out of it because it's uncomfortable for change. But that's my deal. I would be like renting the clubs or using the ones at the golf course, or, just borrowing them from a friend and just trying it out to see if you like it. But again, it doesn't matter what you do as long as you honor what it is that you think brings you some cheer. And then I guess on a final note, some of the tips to kind of really lean into figuring out what it is that I like when I'm confused is I meditate. And sometimes that's just going for a drive in my car. And other times it's actually, laying down, eyes shut, quiet, with the music. And then another time I kind of actually ask for signs and symbols from the universe. So I'll say, I'm really looking for a new experience, or I don't know if I like to wear, sweatpants and a hoodie, or I like to be dressed up in like, a pantsuit every day. Like, I don't know what I like because I'm not really sure. Then you can ask the universe for a sign, and then you start to be aware and pay attention. Like, are all you seeing is women in pantsuits today? because then, maybe that's your sign that maybe you do like that. But being aware, what are you having in your dream? What is coming to your awareness in a conversation with a friend? What's showing up on the TV you're watching? What's a podcast you just heard that's talking about the same thing you asked for a sign for? So that's what I do. I honor myself. I honor my individuality. I have hard conversations with myself and others if I need to. And then I really just kind of be open to being a yes woman so that I can figure out what I like and explore it, and then ask for guidance or validation outside of that. But Jay, I'm interested to see what you do to spark cheer, because again, it's not one size fits all. It's going to be different for each of us.
It's so true. And thanks for some of your tips, Amber, because they're really great. But, I think it's all to do with the happy dance in life. Like with me, it's all about raising vibration. And music for me is such a huge motivator for me, something that's happy, something that I could dance to. And it's funny, no matter how miserable we are, if we put on a dance tune and if we can get into that jive, it really kind of displaces that low to that higher frequency. So it makes me really happy. But a lot of times what I'll do with my own clients and my practices, I'll tell them to jump for joy. And they say, what do you mean? Well, I've learned sometimes that we can't manifest because sometimes we're too depressed. Sometimes we're too down and our vibration is very low. And so I learned through a book called The Seven Sacred Secrets of Manifestation, how to manifest using vibration and emotion rather than just looking at a photo and wanting it. You know what I mean? So we could all look at a picture of a beautiful car, but then reality sets in and then we start to think, well, geez, that's more expensive than my house. So is that going to happen this year? So then we get discouraged. But I think that when we start, and it's something that I use a lot with my clients, because a lot of my clients are so depressed that they cannot feel anything. So this vibrational exercises in this, which is a really, it's an older type of, I guess, how would you say it, way of manifesting, and without, like I say, getting excited. And so it's all to do with vibration. So I do that. The other thing that I like is I like to smudge my environment. I find that when I smudge, I feel lighter. And so smudge is known to get rid of negative around and to keep the positive, or to make your space positive. And so I love doing that. Just the ritual of it makes me feel really good. I feel like I'm bringing in good energy. I'm also doing my affirmations, which really make me feel good and connected. So I find that the more I repeat something, the more it becomes habitual. So even with my little happy dance in the morning, I've started doing it every day so that I can raise my vibration to really attract the same. So everybody says, you've got a perma smile on your face. I really have nothing to be miserable about. I have a great life. But the thing is, I think it's because I've had so many issues in my own and I've learned to deal with them so that I'm able to change it. And I like to give hope to others. And I think that even brings up my vibration to manifest even better things to myself. The other thing I really love are animals. I don't know about you, but animals can be very calming, but also bring you a lot of joy. And so if you don't have any, go to a petting zoo, go visit someone that has a dog and let the dog sit on your lap, or just to be around these beautiful animals. Like even like when I'm out in nature and the birds are landing on me, I'm just so happy. I'm in my happy place. And so I love to connect with nature. It just really helps me kind of elevate my happiness. And in that, I'm able to bring forward what it is that I really, really, truly desire. And the other thing I try to do too is sometimes I stay away from social media. We all know that social media sometimes can be kind of depressing. Sometimes you'll see a negative comment and then you'll see the snowball effect underneath that comment with 100 more negative comments. And so then it gets you upset. And so, you know what? I stay away from that. And if I don't like the post, I hide it, or I delete it, or I move on from it. But I try not to pay attention to other people's energy. So I try to mind my own P's and Q's. The other things that I like, and this is my final thing that that maybe is a little bit different than you do, Amber, is I love energy from gems. And I work a lot with gems. And so today I'm wearing Herkimer diamond, which is double terminated. So it absorbs and releases negative energy, along with crystal quartz, which really for me is grounding and gives me clarity, but it makes me feel so good. And so my happy gems for me are crystal quartz, citrine, I love. And I also like the sacred seven stones. So the melody stone, or I guess they call this like sacred seven, which has 7 different minerals, but they're all so beautiful to just feel. And so people say, well, there's no energy in crystals. I always say, well, how do you think your watch is working? Or how do you think we communicate from cell phones? It's all to do with crystals. So the thing is, crystals do have an effect on us. So those are my kind of things. And Liz, I don't know, if you do your happy dance in the morning, I know I do. But what kind of motivates you?
I actually don't do a happy dance in the morning. I usually, well, I'll tell you what I do is, well, I first and foremost, I check in with myself, right? So, I'll pay attention to what's going on in my body, what's going on in my head. And then I check in and I will assess in that moment, do I need to rev the energy up or do I need to cool things down? If I'm waking up and I'm feeling like, energetically drained or overwhelmed by something that may have happened the day before, or like that week or that year, whatever it is, right? And typically I don't hang on to stuff for that long, but I will definitely go through the process of releasing and letting go. So that's a big deal for me. And I've learned like over the years that I was one who took everything personally. So as an empath, I really took everybody's stuff personally. And so I recognize that in myself. And so now I'm really like doing a lot of clearing around that. The other thing I do is like you, Jay, I get out in nature. Like I dig nature so much. Like I can't even tell you, like I could be anywhere in the world. And as long as I'm outside and I'm connecting with the ground or trees, I'm a big wooded kind of treed area kind of girl. I love the energy that trees give off, and I love the energy of water. So anytime I can get out on the water, in the water, touching water, I don't care what it is, that just, so showers in the morning, fantastic. When it's winter time, forget it. It's kind of not as fun to be outside, but I do snowshoe, so I try and get outside when we can do that for the winter time. But one of the other big things that I do when it comes to manifesting is I will pay attention to my inner thoughts. So I kind of alluded to that at the beginning, where I pay attention every morning when I wake up, but I pay attention when I have a manifestation, when I want something, exciting to happen, or I'm like really focused on something, I pay attention to my conversation around that. So, am I kiboshing that manifestation? Am I over accentuating that? Like, am I not trusting that it's going to happen for me? I really pay attention to my inner dialogue. I have a lot of inner dialogue. Like a lot of inner dialogue, you guys don't even know. So yeah, like I can talk myself in or out of anything in seconds. Like it's ridiculous. So I make sure that, I have like a list. I kind of try and do it weekly. So this might be something, if you've never manifested before, for those of you watching and listening, just sit down today, okay? And I want you to think about 3 things that you truly desire that will make you the happiest person on the planet today. If you could have these 3 things in your life, what are they? And I don't want you to aim low. I want you to aim high. I want you to be, bold in what it is you desire, and write those things down. And then I want you to start paying attention to the conversation you have with yourself immediately once you've written them down. Are you saying things like, yeah, but that other people can have that, but I can't afford that. I can't, whatever that kind of conversation is, that's kind of belittling or taking you away, that's to the negative, that's gonna kibosh that manifestation immediately. So you need to pay attention to your inner dialogue. And I can guarantee you, if you're doing that just on 3 things that you desire, I guarantee you, you're doing a lot more inner dialogue conversations that you're not even tuned into. So this is like one of those really important things to pay attention to with your inner dialogue. If you find that you are being to the negative, then you have to switch it to the positive. You have to trust that no matter how it plays out, you're not supposed to know how things are going to play out. They just play out and they happen. Like I know, being around these 2 beautiful ladies for as long as I have been, I know their power of manifestation, and I know it's real. I know the real deal that's going on here. And so I love working with people who are that tuned in, and you will attract more people like that too, the more you practice good cheer, manifesting good cheer, manifesting positive things within your own life. There's nothing selfish about it. It's the best thing you can do for yourself. So is there anything you girls want to add to what I've already posted, like spoken about?
No, Liz, you're just so wonderful. I just stay away from negative people, and that's the best thing to do as well, but just to kind of add that in, but no.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. This
No,
was
you guys,
wonderful.
I agree with everything. And you're right about the negativity, but I just, keep the things you're trying to manifest close to your heart. Don't share it with everybody. When it's manifested and you want to share it with the people that are in alignment with you and cheer for you, then great. But don't be telling people what you're trying to work on or what your goals are, because unless you are working with someone like a coach or, a therapist or whatever, that they're helping you with zero regard for what it turns out for. They have no personal agenda about how it's turning out. But you probably don't want to share it with friends and family as of yet, because they can shift the energy around if your manifesting works or not. So there's a lot of things to consider with energy, but if you keep vibrating high, then things will likely manifest and attract.
That's such
A
great.
lot easier.
I love it. So that's a great way to end this topic. Keep your vibration high. How do we keep our vibration high? Well, we just feel that good cheer all the time. Think of happy things. Think positively. And when you do have the negative thoughts, kibosh them. Just put them to bed very quickly and move forward in your day. All right. On that note, thank you so much for joining us here at the Psychic Jam. We look forward to seeing you at the next episode.
Thanks for listening to the Psychic Jam. Please share if you liked our podcast. For more information on our services, or if you'd like to be listed on our directory, please visit thepsychicassociates.com.